use a procedure called unanimous consent. And after I call for a motion and a second to vote on an issue, I will call for unanimous consent rather than a vote. If there are no objections, the motion will be accepted. And if there is an objection, I will call for discussion. And then we will vote. So let's start by approving the agenda. Do I hear a motion to accept the agenda as presented?
I
motion.
I have an observation.
Yes.
I am Marta, Secretary. One of the attachments in the minutes is the list of pending actions. When I wrote the minutes, I had a pending action for Jose Peralta, and I had it at status pending. But after that, I learned that he had done something. At least he has gone to Culmore, right? Well, the pending item is a list of events to participate in the coming month. So the question is, had he presented the list?
Hey, Marta, no, I wasn't able to pull together more of these events that were scheduled. I'm still trying to get my hands on a place where where I can pull a list and figure out what other upcoming events there are. So I know that there's some like in the fall that I'm expecting, but their websites don't list dates and venues yet. So I still have that on the plate.
In progress. Is that okay if I change?
Yeah, I'm still working on it.
But I also want to make a note that you already did something. You volunteered for Culmore Day, right?
Yeah, so I did go to Culmore Day and tried to I put together a small short survey of just questions to try to get some feedback from the attendees and asked a few people. And so I don't know if now is when you'd like me to talk a little bit about that or
No, I think that at this point, the only thing that I wanted was to make sure that we modify this attachment before we approve the minutes as amended.
Okay.
So I think probably I can make the motion to approve the minutes as amended, specifically on the pending issues that Jose Peralta's item is in progress and that he participated in the Culmore Day.
Okay.
I move that we accept these changes.
But we were just approving the agenda first, and we were going to move to the minutes. So we need to go back. We need to go back to the agenda, just approve the agenda as is presented. And now when we go to the minutes, then we make the motion for that.
I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. So let's have a motion to accept the agenda as presented.
Moved.
Any second?
Second.
Okay, do we have any objections? Okay, hearing no objections, the agenda is approved. Now next, let's approve the meeting minutes from the 24th April. So, by the way, I just want to say thank you so much and make sure that everybody noticed how wonderful minutes we have. Thank you, Marta, for everything you have done to put them together. It's really, really nice. So, doing this fantastic job with the minutes, now let's approve it with the motion that you just made for the corrections, Marta?
So move.
Any second?
Second.
Any objections accepting the minutes? Okay, then the minutes is approved. Now I just propose that we dispense normal order to allow the chair to modify the agenda upon the need to accommodate invited guests and visitors Do I hear a motion?
Well,
I
I
so,
motion,
I so move.
Any objections? Okay, here and now we will dispense with normal order. Okay, let's have a quick introduction so we can see who's visiting today. Let's start with Jose. Please tell us your name and the district that you're joining us to make it a little, moving forward, and then we go from there. Can you please, Jose, introduce yourself?
Sure, Maritza. I'm Jose Peralta from the Sully district.
Thank you, Jose. Marta?
Marta Calderon from Franconia.
Thank you. Leonel?
Leonel Rojas from Franconia.
Gil?
Gil Davenport from Mount Vernon. I'm the token get and go.
Alex?
Hi, I'm Alex Intron, and I am from CD4 in Richmond.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'm going to be aware if somebody joins us, so I can ask them to introduce themselves. But for now, let me tell you a little bit about Alex Intron. Alex Intron is the president of the Democratic Latino Organization of Virginia. I'm so happy that he's visiting with us tonight, a special guest. I have known our speaker tonight for several years. Many of you heard me say that we need to get young people in the party, that they are the future. And we need their help now. I cannot think of anybody better to talk about getting involved, especially for younger Democrats, than Alex. He is a board member of Juntos for Virginia. He was the director for Latino outreach and political coordinator for the Terry McAuliffe campaign. He was the director of scheduling and the campaign scheduler for our Attorney General Mark Herring. He's a member of the statewide executive board of the Virginia League of United Latin American Citizens, called as LULAC. He's the secretary of the Bolivar Network. He's the Richmond Caucus chair in the Metro Richmond area Young Democrats. He's a member of the Richmond City Democratic Committee. He was the first Latino elected student council president at UVA. He was co-founder of the Latinx Leadership Institute of UVA, and he was the recipient of the 2019 inaugural Virginia Latino Advisory Board Rising Leader Award. I'm so happy to introduce Alex Clinton. Please receive Alex with a big round of applause.
Thank you, Maritza. It's so nice to be here. As Maritza said, I'm involved in, just general Democratic politics and organizing throughout Virginia, and have worked on a couple of statewide. And I'm proud that D-Love, specifically as an organization, which I'm here to talk about and how you can engage with D-Love, was instrumental in making sure that we won the Latino vote during 2021 for the Terry McAuliffe campaign. Of course, we were not victorious. It was a tight race. We had a lot of things working against us, but D-Love really, was out there, and Maritza was very helpful to the campaign. I could not be more grateful for her help, and Gil was always there beside her, and we did some really cool events there. D-Love, for those who don't know, is the Latino caucus, the official Latino caucus for DPVA. So like FCDC, y'all have a Latino caucus here. For the statewide, we have Latino caucus, which is the Democratic Latino Organization of Virginia. One of my big initiatives, in fact, my biggest initiative since I was vice president, and I just assumed the role of president after our past president, Jonathan, accepted a position with the Biden administration, which is good. Means I have to fill in for his shoes. But one of my biggest goals has been to try and get as many local committees to create their own Latino caucuses. I was able to help create one here in Richmond, which was very difficult. That was a couple years ago, but most recently, I think one of our biggest successes so far since I came into this office is that we got the Prince William County Dems to have a Latino caucus, which is huge. That's a locality with one of the biggest Latino populations. More things that DLove does, we engage with our elected officials, particularly our Latino elected officials. We try to give them as much support as possible. Right now we only have 3 Latinos in the General Assembly. Phil Hernandez from Tidewater, Delegate Alfonso Lopez in Nova, and Marty Martinez from Leesburg. And, we're here to support them and provide them as much, do whatever we can to support them throughout the General Assembly session and also during session. One big thing, and I'm sure y'all know, we can't support candidates in primaries. We can only do it after the general or after the primary is over. But we have very few Latinos running for office generally throughout the state, roughly around 10 to 15 in any given cycle. And so we like to connect folks with opportunities to volunteer or work with campaigns as soon as those campaigns are willing to receive people. We do events throughout the state. And more importantly, as we rev up for the Biden re-election campaign, which should be starting up in earnest after the primaries, we're here to connect folks with the campaign and set up events. We will be having something in June. I still got to work stuff out with the Virginia Biden campaign, but we will have something then. Aside from that, we're also always happy to help connect folks with with any kind of administration, any kind of job opportunities, and particularly with the Biden campaign right now, they're looking for some field organizers. So if you're interested, let me know. I'll go ahead and drop a link for my contact information and other information of how to join DLove in the chat. And lastly, if you're interested in getting involved with DLove in any way, you can always sign up to be a member, but also I have an interest form that you can fill out to either join the board It's nice to have a position associated with your name, but more than anything, was I cut off for a second?
Yes. A little
Okay,
frozen.
that's fine. Yeah, I mean, I'm on the road. Sorry about that. But last thing I'll say is if you're interested in joining DLove and you have a project that you care about, we want to make sure that you get involved. You don't need to have a position or title to do what you want to do to help Latinos in Virginia and for Democratic campaigns. I'm a big believer that you should plug in where you can. So that's what I have. And I'm going to go ahead and copy and paste some information for y'all. Happy to answer any questions that I may be able to answer.
Thank you so much, Alex. We're so happy that you were able to join us. I know this is a difficult time and probably a lot of people are out of town in vacation, but we can start with this little conversation and we can go from there. And Marta, Jose, Leonel, do you guys have any questions for Alex?
Well, I don't have a question. I have a comment. I want to thank DLove for partnering with us, for participating in the Caribbean and Latin American festival that is coming in a week and a half or so, a week or so. So I am very grateful that you've done that. I imagine that you were involved in, because you're the president, so some kind of blessing you gave to that. So thank you so much. We are working in the details, the refining details, but we are very, very excited that we are partnering with you.
Yeah, absolutely. You can thank Carla Bustillos from Nova for bringing that up. She's our vice president right now. She's amazing. And I'm always happy to help our local Latino Dems as much as possible. I got a few programs that I want to do to partner with our local Latino Dems, because it's every now and then that I find out that there's like the Virginia Beach Latino Dems. That doesn't exist, but I'll find out somehow, and I'm like, well, that's great. Let's support them. So I'm looking for ways to engage and be as supportive as possible. We do have money, not a lot of money, but at the end of the day, folks at the local area are doing something, we want to support them do that and support them doing that, and not try to duplicate efforts, but partner.
Well, thank you very much again. I'm also from Franconia. I would like to say that I am very impressed with your resume. I am an old guy. I just got 75, but I'm very glad that we have leaders that are well trained and that go in the political process step by step, because I think that's very important to know how things work and also to understand the way people think and act. So I think that I congratulate you with that, and I hope that you will continue. One day you will be a major politician in Virginia.
We'll see. Gracias. And you look great for 75. I would never have guessed. So thank you. Thank you so much.
Maybe you're going to be the first Latin president. So
Oh, no.
Okay.
I am
So-
so happy that we're gonna be working together, and we have our major event this time, the first ever, and we're gonna be working together from 9 to 9 next Saturday. And I'm sure we're gonna have a lot of stories to tell and learn a lot together, where we can, put our fists together and do something good for the elections and from now on. So I want to really thank you for coming, Alex. And just let me ask Jose if Jose has any questions. Do you, Jose?
No, just thank you for the information. Aside from what we've already talked about, if there's anything that we can do to support or be engaged. I saw the information you dropped on the text message, so I'll look into that. But yeah, anything else you can think of that we should keep in mind that we can do to be engaged.
Okay, well, we thank you for coming, Alex. Please keep us in mind, because we would love to work with you in any project that you have. And, we're here to do the fight together.
Maritza, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Maritza and I, every year we go out and knock on doors in the Latino neighborhood. My Spanish is not as good as hers, and I'm certainly not as cute as her, so I don't get as good response as her. But one of the things we emphasize is you don't need to have documentation to help people get elected who have your best interest at heart. So I'd like to see more of that outreach,
Okay.
especially in some of the neighborhoods up here in Northern Virginia.
I appreciate that. I 100% agree. There are many ways to participate in democracy, and there's not a one size fits all. One of my favorite things on campaigns I remember in 2016, we would always try and get folks to help, do phone calls, knock on doors, and stuff like that. Basic, voter registration efforts like that. But there was this one person who, didn't, very quiet, very, very timid, but she would come into the campaign office, and clean our office, right? And she was just a volunteer, and that was her way of helping out with the campaign. And I think that's beautiful, because you don't have to be able to do everything, right? You just got to be willing to help out the team. So, no, I really appreciate that.
Literature drops,
Yeah.
things like that. There's a lot of things that people can do to help their, themselves, even though they aren't documented. The second thing is this whole issue of primaries. You're going to notice everything in the Latino Democrat, the Fairfax Latino Caucus website, everything that we publish, we always have to say that we don't endorse any particular candidate during a primary. And that became a big issue last time, because we had more Latinos running in Fairfax than ever before. And we were highlighting them on every one of our emails. And we got into a lot of trouble with FCDC, because they said, it looks like you're endorsing. So that's where we negotiated that verbiage that we always use. But the point is, if you've got a Latino or a Latina running in a primary, why can't we maybe not endorse them? Why can't we publish information about them? Why can't we highlight them? Why can't we bring them more to the surface? Come on.
Yeah, no, two things with that. I mean, I don't recall if I heard this, but I have the I have worked for Alfonso Lopez and I have worked for Elizabeth Guzman. I was her chief of staff and I was with her in the last primary, which was a very tough primary. We could have had our first Latina in the Senate, in the state Senate, and we did not get that by 50 votes. And as you can probably tell, as you can probably,
Lenny.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, yes.
As you can probably tell, we had a lot of folks who definitely had preferences throughout the primaries, especially in Northern Virginia. Two things I'd like to say. There's an organization that Maritza mentioned, which is Juntos por Virginia. That organization was created out of the frustration that we want to support Latinos, right? And oftentimes the most critical moment is in the primary, because way too many times do we get to the general and we don't have a lot of folks to support. That's very frustrating. And so we as a community need to find ways to support our own. What does that mean? That means highlighting them. And I want to be clear, if in the future you're doing stuff whereas you're, highlighting folks, but also with the caveat that you're not endorsing them and you're still getting trouble or folks are still coming on you, please let me know. Because we're a small group. I want to be there. I want to make sure that we're able to support folks where we can support them. And there's not a lot of avenues for us, and sometimes it feels like the deck is stacked against us. And I wouldn't appreciate if we had folks telling us that we couldn't share information about candidates, especially when the whole point of the group is to support Latino candidates. Yes, in the general, yes, we're an official organ of the Democratic Party. Yes, we technically have to wait until the general election. That's all fine and dandy, but we should also be advocating for ourselves. So, and that's where I see these spaces to be, providing resources and being advocates for our own folks so that we can see them in the general and so everybody else can finally get on board and support them. But yes, if you want to talk about ways to support candidates in the primary, please reach out to me. I'm happy to connect you with some folks. If you are advertising and folks are trying to be some trouble for you, please let me know. But thank you again for having me on. And thank you for all of the work that y'all do. I really appreciate it.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Alex. Thank you. We really appreciate it. This is not gonna be this is our first, but it's not gonna be our last. And I look forward for all the things that we're gonna be together, especially starting next week with the Caribbean event. Thank you for
Yes.
coming and giving us your time.
Yep. All right. Bye, y'all.
Bye. Thank you. Hi, Todd.
Can you hear me?
Yes, a
Yes.
little bit away, but we can.
I'm calling from California. I'm sorry I'm late. It's mid-afternoon and I was running errands. But I sent something in advance. I really appreciate Leonel being so quick in translating information I had basically gotten from Terry Conley. And I sent something to Network Nova on it because I've been working mostly with them on trying to get what's very frustrating for me now in Blue California, where I find minorities very sympathetic to Trump. It's very Latinos, Asian American. I'm in an Asian American family here. And it's just very discouraging. And one of the reasons is, as we've been trying to point out, they just assume that, oh yeah, the economy was good under Trump, and then Biden came in, the economy got bad, and they completely discount COVID. And COVID was the biggest assault on the global economy since the Great Depression, 95 years ago. And Democrats did such a good job of getting people through it that is not appreciated. But we're not talking that way. And the problem that I have is that even though the Donald J. Trump site has messaging, it has some very, very good, it has 6 different topics, and they have little paragraph on each, and it's very moving. If I didn't know what a pathological liar he is, I would be sympathetic. But there's nothing like that on the Biden side, and it needs something. And I so much appreciate Leonel and Marta getting right off the blocks and translating the information. But the important thing is we've got to convince people this has to be out there for everybody to see. And for people like us who support Biden and Harris to get out there and give it to other people that we're trying to persuade and get them to persuade other people, because it's just not getting out there. And one thing that happened today, the biggest news today is not just that Trump got convicted, because they're just going to say, oh, he's been, what they always say is, oh, he's just being persecuted because they don't like Trump. Well, they don't like Trump because he's basically a con man. And we've got to get out the word, and the campaign should be doing this. There's certainly a lot of evidence that basically he's an extremely accomplished con man. And start and just what evidence do they want? Do they want to start with Trump University, where he defrauded all these students? It goes on and on. So I think Latinos are what I found here. The half a dozen or so people I've seen so far who are Latino that I just meet and chat with is Latinos, Asian Americans, all minorities, and finally, certainly students, to get them engaged. That's a little different job. That's putting their top issues forward and showing them that, Democrats are the ones who are advancing those issues. But how do we get the campaign just to put messaging up so we can refer people to it? Because we're just locals, but they should have the best information up there for us to refer people to and use to convince people.
Okay, so I'm going to continue with the agenda, and probably we can have a conversation as soon as we adjourn. So if anybody wants to join the conversation, we will continue and put in some of these and even added as comments in our, in our minutes. So let's go to the old business now.
Oh, sorry.
I hope you have the opportunity to check out our social media. We need to thank Marta and Leonel for the hard work for the Latino Caucus in the social media. We have now Instagram, we have now our website, we have YouTube, and our social media only works if it stays current. So we will need more technical help and content each month. So if anybody of you wants to help, please get in touch with us so we get you involved to be part of, the team. So anybody has any old business to mention?
Well, maybe a question for Jose. The day that you went to Coolmore, did you take any picture? Do you have any?
No, unfortunately, I forgot to take pictures.
Okay. So from now on, let's make a point that every corner, wherever we go, that smells to Democrats, we take a picture.
Yes, even if there's a picture of the background, or even if it's a picture of the front yard, but to make sure that we have something to show that we were there. Okay?
I think
That's
that
a very good idea. Yes, Leonel?
well, thank you. I think that the basket is something from the old issues. I don't know. Or it may be an announcement.
Oh, I was going to put in the announcements, but
okay. All right, perfect. I'll wait for the announcements.
So do we have any new business that we should consider? Our new business? Okay, so let's go to announcements. Let's talk about the Blue Fairfax dinner. The main fundraiser for FCDC is going to be this Sunday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. or 5:30 if you are in the VIP reception. It's going to be in the Hilton McLean Tyson Corner, and the keynote speaker is Rep. Abigail Spanberger. And Marta, would you like to talk about our next event for the next week?
Leonel has the talking points.
Oh, good for you. Come on, Leonel, take the mic.
Okay, as has been mentioned, next week, June 8th, we are going to have a Caribbean and Latin American festival in the Franconia Park here on Telegraph Road. And Franconia Democrats and D-Love, with the help of the Latino Caucus, will have a booth to start. This festival runs from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And so it's a long day, and we need volunteers. If you can volunteer, please go to the webpage. They have the site where you can sign up for volunteering.
I put
There's a sign up.
I put the link in the chat. It is there.
Okay,
Directly to Genius to go and volunteer.
perfect. And also you can call us to let us know that you are planning to volunteer. And well, I mentioned maybe I mentioned before the basket, the gift basket donated by the Latino Caucus is called Fiesta Latina. It has the number 054 in the bidding list. So far, there's no bidding. The minimum bid is $125, and the value estimated by them is $400. We would like to thank you, those who donated. The bids are online through 32auctions.com -2024 BFD. Any questions about the auction or the basket?
Well, I just want to say that I'm so happy that you guys got involved, and now we have new blood in the Latino Caucus. I know that right now we are not that many, but we are putting the foundation of the great things that we're going to be doing together. So I was thinking that one of the things that we can do is trying to find some of the list of people that have attended our events, like past parties, and we can give you a list. So if you want to make phone calls for the people that have attended in our parties,
Yes.
to invite them to participate and come and share with us, 1 hour, 2 hours, just to make sure that we start making impact in our community, that will be very good. Do you think we
Yes.
can do that, Gil?
That would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, I think I can pull out from most of our we email to about 100 who the group a year ago used to be about 40 people every meeting got together. Okay, this year it's been considerably less. And we mailed to about 100 in what I call the primary group. Then we mailed to another 200 that includes like every registered Democrat in Franconia, for instance. So yeah, let me pull out and get as many phone numbers as I can, and I'll create a list, and we can just distribute that, and let's all pitch in, and everybody make 8 or 10 phone calls, and we can cover it and see if we can get them to come.
I think that if we start with the people that attended our parties, we'll feel more comfortable inviting them to come and be part of it, because they have an opportunity to join us again, right? And then once we do with that list, we can start asking for new blood and new people and see how can they come and join us and, make the difference. So thank you for helping you. Anybody has any other?
One thing to clarify is that the festival has a cost. The ticket has a $13 if you buy it online. But Fairfax Democrats will reimburse the volunteers.
Oh.
So yeah, they are going to reimburse the volunteers. So you buy the ticket, but you will be reimbursed if you want to be reimbursed.
Right.
Okay.
So that's a good
correct.
incentive. That will be a good incentive to invite people to join us. Yeah. So, and we start our new program, we start our new team, and I think we're going in the right direction. So if we don't have anything else to bring to the table for tonight, I would like to invite you to go have your drink.
Yeah, I have another issue.
Okay.
It's not an issue, really. I as was said, I am working on improving what we have so far on Instagram. And Instagram, both in Facebook and Instagram, we have pages. So this is the denomination that is right. So essentially, it's a little different from the everyday Facebook or Instagram that we use for personal purposes. But essentially, we need pictures, we need a list of activities, we need stories, we need videos in order to give life to these sites.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be sending you any material that comes to my desk. I'm going to be sending you and sending it to Gil, and Gil will know what he will put in the bulletin, and you guys can decide what things you post in the Instagram and, in our social media to define which way we want to go and how we want to do it. Okay. All right. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Well, I'm adjourning this meeting.
Maritza, Jose has his hand up. I don't know if he still has it up.
I'm sorry, Jose.
Oh yeah, just a really quick thing. There's a webinar on January 6th at 11 from the Virginia Poverty Law Center that is just talking about health coverage eligibility for immigrants in Virginia. And I'm just going to put it on the chat in case it's something that we might want to highlight or can distribute, or even at the Franconia event, could share with folks. But that's it.
Wonderful. So anytime that you have something, you should send a text to Marta, Lionel, and Gil, so we can be on the same page, and Marta, Lionel can figure it out which one or how they're going to post it, and at the same time, we can talk about it, and then we can use some of that information to put in our bulletin.
Excellent, will do.
And that way we can start working together to see what things work or how can we improve the way we work.
I just put my email and Lionel's email in the chat. And I wanted to ask, Jose, do you think that you will be able to volunteer, because you're a great asset?
At the event on the 6th. Unfortunately, I'm traveling for work on the 6th.
On the 8th, yeah.
Sorry, let me look really quick.
Saturday the 8th.
The 8th, yeah, on Saturday. Yeah, I'm flying back from Nashville that day. So I don't know if I'll be able to make it. I don't think so. But I'm gonna let some of the people I know about it, and hopefully I can send somebody that's just as good or better than me to help out.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah. Perfect.
Can I suggest, Jose, if you have any notes on questions that you might want to put or items you want to put onto a grip card, go ahead and send it to Latinos, okay?
Okay.
And we'll start creating a grip card that we can hand out, because we can get those printed pretty quickly. I like using union shops as much as I can, but if it's something quick and we can do it internally, and just go ahead and get something out so we can hand it out.
Sounds great.
Okay, anything else? Okay, well, let's adjourn the meeting. Let's get some refreshments and join the happy half an hour if you guys want to join it.
Fantastic.